She served in that role since 2011. Previously has served as member of the Columbus City Council as well as state representative of the 22nd House District. In addition to her role at the State House, she also serves as the President and CEO of Primary One Health, which provides access to services that improve the health statuses of families, and is a champion of the work to combat infant mortality in Columbus, these being just a few examples of the ways that she serves the community. Please join me in welcoming Senator Charlita Tavares to share a few words with us.
First of all, I want to congratulate all of the Southside Neighborhood Leadership Academy graduates for all of your projects, because as was shared, they sound like fun projects, but what I kept seeing over and over is that they're projects that bring people together, bring neighbors together, bring us together to do something good for each other and for those new people joining the community on the South Side. So thank you. It means a lot to me as your state senator because I represent the South Side of Columbus. And what I've been proud as a public official is that even when you were going through difficult times, you stayed together as a South Side. You were proud of your South Side community, and that's what I see in these projects today. I see individuals who love their community and only want to make it better, and that makes a huge difference, not just for the South Side of Columbus, but for Columbus and Franklin County in total, because you're showing other communities what can be done when we look for the skills and talents within each and every member of our community, because everyone has skills and talents. I want to thank the United Way of Central Ohio. I certainly want to thank my friend, longtime friend. I'm trying to remember when we first met, Reverend Edgar, but you've been a long-time advocate for people, and you've been passionate about serving the needs of those who may not have a voice or may have been forgotten. So we thank you in the Community Development for All People. I didn't know Dr. Hanson, but she seems like a dynamo and someone that we should all we need to clone her. Thank you for the work that you're doing. Certainly thank you to the partners, Nationwide Children's Hospital, the United Way of Central Ohio, I understand Fifth Third Bank, and certainly Donato's. Donato's family have been a stalwart on the South Side of Columbus, been champions for all that is the South Side of Columbus, all that can be the South Side of Columbus. So we thank you and the family as well. Comments from me really is about this whole notion of looking at the positives of each community and of each person. You know, it's easy to come up with negatives about people. It's easy to drill into what we don't like about someone, what we don't like about our community, our neighborhood. But that's the easy part. It takes some time, it takes some energy, and it really takes some reflection to look at the positive, to look at what that person, regardless of whether we agree with them or not, regardless of whether they came out of the same background as we did or not, what that person has to offer our community. I think all of us, and particularly those of us who are a little older to the young people who are here, we want to leave the world in a better place than what we found it. We want to leave it in a better place for our young people, whether it's our own children, our community's children, or children who need additional support. That's why I'm so happy that you decided to take on the Supporting Our Youth project, because young people don't pay attention to what we say. They pay attention to what we do. And if we don't prioritize them in our actions, they're watching us. And that's what they're going to remember. So you have shown that you see the value in investing in our young people, because then they're going to invest in their community as well. The other message I wanted to share with you, because we mentioned the infant mortality issue, which is something that's near and dear to me, And we had a hearing today, Reverend Edgar, on the Ohio Infant Mortality Commission and all of the work that we've been doing over the last couple of years, gathering best practices, promising practices. We're very fortunate that we have one of those promising practices right there at the Community Development for All People, Moms to Be, with Dr. Pat Gabby. But what we've seen is that we are at a crossroads right now of passing legislation that's going to enable us to start to turn the tide on infants dying prematurely, infants dying unnecessarily, infants dying because they're not being put in a bed and they don't have safe sleep practices. And then we're going to save infants because people are going to get the best services, the appropriate services for that individual. We had a hearing today and we had a lot of great questions, but the bottom line was we're interested in outcomes. We want to make sure it's not just talk, it's not just programs. We're investing in outcomes. One of the programs in the United Way of Central Ohio, I'm proud that Todd Diefendorfer, I know that he is a part of the Pathways Community Hub here in Central Ohio. The Franklin County United Way, or the Central Ohio United Way, is one of those hubs. And this is a promising practice. This will help us to turn the tide on the south side of Columbus, the Linden community of Columbus, Franklinton, the Near East Side, all of the communities of Columbus and Franklin County, where we see a disproportionate number of babies dying before their first birth. So we had the hearing today. We look for it to pass in this lame duck session. We have to get it passed by December 31st, or we have to start all over again in January. So send up your prayers, and for those that have the ability to come to our hearing, I would encourage you to come to the Health and Human Services Subcommittee of the House Finance Committee, because that's the committee that's hearing the bill. And we have a lot of great supporters on that committee, but it's always good to hear from communities who are benefiting from some of the promising practices that we've already identified. Again, looking at assets in a community projects that are working, that are showing promise in saving lives of our babies across the state. And then finally, I guess what I would like for the graduates of the Neighborhood Leadership Academy, the Southside Neighborhood Leadership Academy, to do is to share your best practices throughout the city of Columbus, because your neighbors in other communities of Columbus and Franklin County can learn from you. So what you've developed here as leaders, you can take it to those other neighborhoods through our civic associations, our area commissions, and then I would venture to say that you should share your projects with Columbus City Council. You know, we have a chair of the Health and Human Services, and there's a workforce development, Councilwoman Priscilla Tyson, who also chairs the Finance Committee, and she has regular hearings. I think it would be nice if these projects were shared with the broader community so that they could see what this academy is all about, but more importantly, what the south side of Columbus is doing for the south side of Columbus through its individual leaders that are working collectively to build the south side of Columbus. And then, on a selfish note, I am just going to share with the residents of the south side. You know, we've had a lot of discussion around whether or not we have an all-at-large council. We're having hearings right now in the city of Columbus on this notion of having district representatives. Well, I think you're developing some wonderful leaders that could be those leaders who run for office for Columbus City Council. We want people who care about the community that they want to serve. I believe strongly in a representative government. I believe strongly that we need people from all different backgrounds. That's what our country was founded on. We need farmers, we need teachers, we need laborers, we need restored citizens. We need people from all different backgrounds to serve in government so that the perspectives of everyone is shared. We don't just need young people, we need older adults as well, because so many of the issues that are impacting our community today deal with health care. And a large percentage of our community's members are going to be past the age of 60, and we need to make sure that we have a health care system that addresses the needs of our older adults. Who's going to be the strongest champion of those who are over 65? Those who are over 65. Who's going to be the strongest champions of those who are 18 to 24? Those that are 18 to 24. You know the issues more intimately. You know the issues more passionately. And you can speak to them directly because they're the issues that you're dealing with every day. So I thank you, Reverend Edgar, Dr. Hanson, Mr. Edwards, thank you for inviting me to be the speaker today. Thank you, community, for all that you're doing. And keep the Southside pride here in Central Ohio, because it is catchy. And for all of those anchor institutions and institutions that are investing back into our community, particularly on the South Side, thank you for understanding and recognizing that the only way we all are lifted up is if we invest in each other and we partner, because we can't do it by ourselves. None of us can. Thank you, and God bless you.